Hello students, we have finished with the chapter Control and Coordination. Let us start off with the next chapter, that is chapter 8, How do organisms reproduce? Human beings have 9 systems, that is the digestive, respiratory, circulatory, excretory, nervous, skeletal, muscular, endocrine, and the reproductive system. Except the reproductive system, all the rest are essential for life. Reproductive system is not an essential system. Then why is it important, or what is its significance? It is essential to maintain the continuity of species, to preserve the biodiversity. And it is because organisms reproduce that we notice them. Let us now discuss the structure and function of the nucleus. Nucleus is a spherical structure found almost in the center of a cell. It is found both in plant and animal cell. Nucleus has an outer membrane which is double layered. And this membrane is called nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane is not a continuous one. There are pores found in them. And these pores are known as nuclear pores. The nuclear pores help in the entry and exit of materials in and out of the nucleus. Inner to the nuclear membrane is found the nucleoplasm, and suspended in the nucleoplasm are the chromatin network and the spherical structure called nucleolus. The nucleolus helps in ribosome biogenesis. The thread-like structures which are found in the nucleoplasm are known as chromatin network. This chromatin network become rod-shaped structures called chromosomes at the time of cell division. Chromosomes carry necessary information regarding the inheritance of characteristics from the parents to the next generation. Located on the chromosomes are units of heredity known as the genes. Chromosomes are made of DNA and proteins. The full form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA carry information for the production of proteins, or DNA is a source of information of production of proteins. But if this information changes, then the body design will change, or the body design will alter. Now the two functions of nucleus are, first, it helps in cell division, and secondly, it is the nucleus that decide what the form and function of the cell will be at the time of maturity. Thus, nucleus is the control center of a cell. Now, coming to reproduction. The two basic events of reproduction are DNA replication, which is followed by cell division. Now, DNA replication means the parent DNA replicates and forms one more DNA. But in the parent DNA, both the original DNA and the newly formed DNA cannot be occupied. Neither can this newly formed DNA be just pushed off. So, the cell has to divide so that the newly formed DNA can be occupied in the cell that is newly formed. Thus, two daughter cells are formed and each occupy the DNA. that is the original one and the newly formed. Two cells, they are similar but they are never identical. This is because DNA replications are biochemical reactions, and biochemical reactions are never absolutely accurate. Always, whenever a biochemical reaction takes place, that means whenever a DNA replication takes place, there will be a slight variation. But sometimes these variations are drastic. At that time, the cell cannot survive. It may die. Therefore, the inbuilt tendency for variation leads to evolution. Now let us see what is the importance for variation. Organisms occupy different niches. Now what is the meaning of niche? Niche means habitat. The consistency in DNA replication is important because then only the body design can be maintained and the organism can occupy that particular niche. Therefore, reproduction is linked to stability of species of a population. Niches change, and these changes are beyond our control sometimes, especially during natural calamities or natural disaster such as a meteoritic hit or a cyclone or flood, etc. Let us take the example of a group of bacteria that were living in temperate waters. It so happened that due to global warming, the temperatures rose and these bacteria, they could not survive, most of them. Most of them died due to the increase in temperature, but a few survived. These few who survived could do that because variations occurred in their body. Thus we can rightly say variations help the survival of a species over time. Now let us discuss what is reproduction. Reproduction is a process by which organisms produce their own kind for maintaining the continuity of a species. Reproduction can be of two types, that is sexual mode and asexual mode. Sexual mode of reproduction involves two parents, formation of gametes, and the offsprings are not identical to the parents. While in the case of asexual reproduction, only a single parent is involved, there is no gamete formation, and the offsprings are exactly similar to that of the parents. In this chapter, we will be discussing the different modes of asexual reproduction, that is fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation, and spore formation. We will also be studying about sexual reproduction in plants and in human beings.